this manner.
David Mello, 701st Street. I apologize for not signing up, but my daughter wasn't eating her broccoli tonight, and that sort of
That's
made that
okay,
difficult.
David. 701st, did you say?
701st Street, yeah. I prepared something I'd like to say.
Sure, David.
I share a condo across the street from Block 11 with my wife Stacy and my daughter Sienna.
And then you'll insert.
It gives me great pride to have started a family in Hoboken, a town that most of my friends and family viewed as an up-and-coming party spot when I moved here almost 11 years ago, but not as the kind of place that my wife and I, Rockland County, New York-raised suburbanites, would ever call home. I have truly reveled in watching the city that I've always loved grow, evolve, and change the perceptions of most people I know. People who now agree that in most respects, Hoboken is a wonderful place to start a family. This is home, and I'll argue with anyone that it's the best home this state has to offer. We truly love living in New Jersey's greatest urban municipality. However, in life, nothing is ever black and white. As much as my family enjoys living in Hoboken, we still long for the benefits that open space provides and are sadly all too aware of the insufficiency of open space in the southwest portion of our city where we live. Lack of open space is one of the greatest issues facing our community. Over the long term, it is even more daunting than our current budget crisis. Through time, diligence, and discipline, budgets can be balanced, and a city's financial house can be put in order. But a blighted and/or underutilized piece of property, once it is developed as high-rise condominiums, will for all intents and purposes never be available as open space again. For this reason, I urge the City Council to take this important step toward the realization of the vision of Hoboken's carefully crafted and insightful master plan. Target this land for acquisition and make it a cornerstone for the Southwest Park that we have so often been promised. Do not let fear stop you from making this step. Fear of our budget crisis. Fear that it will necessitate eminent domain. Let me address each of these fears individually. Our city, like so many families across the country, is facing a budget crisis. However, like a family, this is not a time to abandon long-term planning, but to embrace it. A family facing a financial crisis will contribute to their 401k plans and save for children's college educations. Similarly, this city must plan for the creation and preservation of open space, while suitable space for preservation and reinvigoration still exists in Hoboken. We're running out of developable space. Time is of the essence. As for opening a Pandora's box named eminent domain, I strongly urge this council to educate themselves on the concept of transfer of development rights. TDRs, as transfer of development rights are often called, can and have been effectively used to avoid the pains of eminent domain. First used in New York City, transfer of development rights have successfully protected Grand Central Station from the wrecking ball and the precious watershed of our New Jersey highlands. Hoboken should embrace progressive land use practices and use TDRs to build parks, the parks that our master plan dreamed of, to create the parks that my daughter and your children, your families deserve. Under a transfer of development rights program, the valuable development rights that so many Hoboken property owners possess can be transferred from those areas targeted for open space, areas that would be labeled sending areas, and then transferred to more suitable areas of the city, areas that this city too often simply tries to label as an area in need of redevelopment, and instead designates these areas as receiving areas. This way, property owners keep the most important value attached to their property, its development rights, and the citizens of Hoboken would gain their much-needed open space. Quite possibly, this concept can be used in concert with the tool of redevelopment.
David, you have one more minute. I'm sorry.
I printed out a good overview of the TDR concept, written by progressive thinkers from Cornell University, and would be more than willing to share a copy of this overview with each member of the council. Hopefully, reviewing this overview can be used as a starting point for discussions of how to follow through on this resolution without ever having to resort to eminent domain. My family is not alone in its feeling that Hoboken is the greatest urban municipality in the state of New Jersey. Let's start acting like the greatest tonight. by taking the progressive lead on urban smart growth in New Jersey, by setting up a subcommittee to investigate the use of transfer development rights as a tool for acquiring the parkland we so desperately need, and most importantly, and most timely, sending a clear message to the mayor, the mayorally appointed zoning board, and the land speculators throughout this city. We are serious about our city's master plan. We are serious about solving our city's open space deficit crisis, and we are serious about saving Block 11. Thank you.
Thank you, David.